you okay?" I asked, watching Emily stir her coffee for the 5th time without taking a sip. She smiled faintly. "Yeah, just tired." "Tired?" I leaned back in my chair. "You've been tired for weeks." "I told you, work's been insane," she said, still not looking at me. "New clients, long hours, it's just a lot." I nodded, pretending to believe it. "I get that. But even when you're home, you feel somewhere else." Her spoon clinked against the cup. "You're overthinking again. Maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't." The silence between us stretched thin. "I just miss you," I said softly. "You used to tell me everything." "I still do." "No, you don't," I said. "You talk, but it's like—" "Your voice stops before your heart does," she sighed, rubbing her forehead. "Ryan, please don't make this harder." "Harder." I frowned. "I'm trying to fix whatever's breaking." She set the spoon down. "Not everything can be fixed." The words hung there, sharp and cold. What's that supposed to mean? She looked at me finally, eyes distant, like she'd already rehearsed this. "I just need some space." "Space?" I repeated, forcing a laugh. "You mean a weekend off or—" "No," she interrupted. "Real space. I need to find myself." My throat tightened. "Find yourself?" "You're right here, Emily." Her eyes watered, but her voice stayed steady. "I don't even know who I am anymore, Ryan." "Then let me help you figure it out." She shook her head. "You can't. That's the point." I felt the table tilt under me, or maybe it was just my chest caving in. "So what are you saying? You want to break up?" "I don't know," she whispered. "I just need to breathe." I stared at her. "You can breathe with me." "It's not the same," she said, looking away. "You're—" "Too close, too close." I laughed bitterly. 5 years together and suddenly I'm suffocating you? "Don't twist my words," she said, her voice shaking now. "I'm just trying to be honest." "Honest would have been telling me before you started pulling away," I shot back. "Before you stopped answering my calls at night." "I told you I was tired. You're always tired." I slammed my hand on the table before catching myself. The cafe went quiet. She flinched. I lowered my voice. "You used to call me when you couldn't sleep. Now I don't even know if you want me around." Tears filled her eyes. "Ryan, please." "Don't make this ugly." "Ugly?" I whispered. "It already is." We sat in silence again, surrounded by the soft hum of strangers who didn't care that my world was cracking. After a long pause, she said quietly, "Maybe this is good for both of us. Good?" I managed a hollow laugh. "You're breaking up with me and calling it good?" "I didn't say that," she said quickly. I need time. I need to think." "To think about what? Us or someone else?" Her eyes darted away. Too fast, too guilty. My chest went cold. "Emily," I said slowly, "is there someone else?" She froze. "No," she said too quickly. "Of course not." "Then look at me and say it." She met my eyes, but only for a second. "There isn't." That second was enough. I saw it, the flicker of guilt, the shadow behind her pupils. I leaned back, my voice breaking. "You've already found him, haven't you?" Her lips trembled. "Ryan, please don't—" "Who is he?" I demanded. "Someone from work? Aaron, maybe?" She blinked hard. "You don't know what you're talking about." "I don't?" I scoffed. "Because every time you say his name, your tone changes. I notice things, Emily, I always notice." She stood up suddenly, chair scraping the floor. "I'm not doing this." "Then what are you doing?" I asked, standing too. "Running away again?" Her voice cracked. "I just need time to figure myself out." "And you can't do that with me around?" "No," she whispered. "Not anymore." I felt my chest cave in, but I forced myself to nod. "Fine, take your space. Find yourself." Her eyes softened. "Ryan." "Don't," I said, grabbing my jacket. "You wanted distance?" "You got it," she reached out. "Please don't hate me." "I don't," I said quietly. "I just don't recognize you anymore." I walked out before she could answer. The bell above the door jingled like mock applause. Outside, the night air felt heavier than I remembered. I stood there for a while, staring at my reflection in the cafe window. Inside, she sat alone, staring at the table where my hands had been. I whispered to myself, "Space, huh?" and laughed bitterly. I didn't realize then that space meant another man's arms. that while I stood outside trying to breathe, she was already learning how to live without me. But I believed her words. I believed she just needed time, and that was my biggest mistake. It had been 2 weeks since Emily asked for space. 2 weeks of silence, of pretending I was fine. That morning, Jake said, "Man, you've been staring at your phone like it owes you money." "I'm just checking something," I muttered. He leaned closer. "You're checking her, aren't you?" I didn't answer. I scrolled, pretending I wasn't searching her name again. But there it was, her smile. Her hand in someone else's, Aaron Blake. The caption read, "Found someone who makes me feel alive again." My stomach dropped. Jake frowned. "What is it?" I turned the screen toward him. "That," he squinted. "No way, that's Aaron? Her coworker?" "Yeah," my voice cracked. "The one she said not to worry about." Jake let out a sharp breath. "Jesus, Rye, that's low!" I stared at the photo, her head resting on his shoulder, her eyes soft, the same way she used to look at me. The comments below made it worse. "You two are perfect." Finally. "You deserve happiness, Em. Power couple." My throat burned. Jake said quietly, "Don't do this to yourself, man. Don't read that. I just want to understand," I whispered. She said she needed space. "Not someone else," he grabbed my phone. "You need air. Let's go out, get food." But I snatched it back. "No, I need to talk to her." "Ryan, I was already typing." "Emily, I saw the photo. Please tell me this isn't what it looks like." I stared at the screen until it lit up again. "Ryan, I didn't plan this. It just happened." I read it twice. Then again. My chest tightened. "It just happened?" I said out loud. "What does that even mean?" Jake rubbed his face. "It means she's trying to soften the blow." "Don't respond." But my fingers were already moving. "You said you needed space. Not someone else's bed." Her reply came fast. "That's not fair." "You don't understand." "Not fair?" I muttered. "She's right, I don't understand." Jake said, "Bro, put the phone down before you say something you'll regret." I ignored him. "You could have just said you wanted him." No response. Just the scene mark. That tiny silent dagger. Jake sighed. "I'm sorry, man." I stood up pacing. 5 years. 5 years and she throws it away like a summer fling. She's not worth this. She was my world, Jake. "Then build a new one," he said. "You can't chase someone who's already running the other way." I sat down again, shaking. "I don't even know who I am without her." He grabbed my shoulder. "You'll find out. But not today. Today, you just survive." His voice blurred out as I stared at the screen. No new messages. Just silence. Later that night, Lily texted, "Heard you left work early. You okay?" I hesitated, then typed, "Not really. She's with someone else." Her reply came fast. "Ryan, I'm so sorry. Want to talk?" I didn't. But I said, "Maybe tomorrow." She just sent a heart emoji. No pity, no advice. Just quiet understanding. It almost made me cry again. The apartment felt colder that night. I poured whiskey into a coffee mug and sat on the couch, staring at nothing. Jake called once more. "Don't drink alone, man." "I'm not drunk," I lied. "You sound like you're about to be." "I just need noise," I said. "Anything to stop thinking, then blast music. Don't drown in it." I ended the call, tossed the phone beside me, and turned the TV on. Random commercials, fake laughter, empty noise. I couldn't focus on any of it. Everywhere I looked, I saw her. Her perfume on the blanket. Her hair clip still near the sink. Her ghost breathing beside me. I whispered to the room, "Why, Emily?" "Why him?" No answer, just the hum of the refrigerator. At midnight, I opened my gallery. Thousands of photos, her smile, her hands on my face, her lips against mine. I scrolled until my eyes blurred. My thumb hovered over Select All. Jake's voice echoed in my head. "Don't do this to yourself." But I did. I deleted every picture, one by one, watching each memory vanish like it never existed. When the last one disappeared, I sat there, empty. My phone buzzed. Another message, Emily again. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I hope we can still be friends someday." I stared at it for a full minute. Then I typed, "You broke something that can't be fixed." I hit send. Her scene appeared. Then nothing. The silence that followed was heavier than any scream. I put the phone face down and leaned back, eyes closed. My chest felt like glass. Maybe this was what dying without dying felt like, breathing but not living. I whispered, "You wanted space, Emily. I gave it to you." Now I have too much of it. Outside, the city lights blurred through the window. Somewhere, she was probably laughing with him, and I was here, learning how to breathe alone again. "Get up," Jake said, yanking the curtains open. Light stabbed my eyes. "Close it," I muttered, pulling the blanket over my face. "It's 3 in the afternoon, man. You're starting to smell like regret." "I'm fine." "You're not." "I said I'm fine," I snapped. He folded his arms. "You've said that every day for 2 weeks. You're living on coffee and pain. I'm functioning," he laughed. "If that's what you call this, sure. When's the last time you went outside?" I stared at the ceiling. "I don't remember." Jake sat on the edge of my couch. "You can't keep drowning like this. She's not coming back." My throat tightened. "You don't know that." He gave me a look. "I saw the photo, Ryan. She's gone." I sat up, rubbing my face. I keep replaying everything, every conversation, every kiss, like I'm searching for the moment she stopped loving me. That's torture. "Yeah," I said bitterly. "But it's the only thing that makes me feel close to her." Jake sighed. "You don't need her to feel alive." "Then why does it feel like I stopped breathing?" He didn't answer. Just handed me a clean t-shirt. "Get dressed. We're going out. I don't want to." "I didn't ask," he said. "Shower, now." I groaned, but I did it. 15 minutes later, we sat in a diner, the smell of fries and coffee mixing with stale air. Jake pointed at the menu. "Eat. Real food." "I'm not hungry." "Then drink something that isn't caffeine or whiskey." I managed a small grin. "Bossy. Desperate," he corrected. "I miss my friend. Not this zombie version." "I'll come back," I said quietly. "Eventually?" He leaned forward. "Don't wait for eventually. Start now." I stared out the window. "It's just... everything reminds me of her. The way she used to stir sugar into her coffee, the sound of her laugh." "Then find new things," Jake said. "New sounds, new people." "Don't give her the rest of your story." I smirked faintly. "You should be a therapist," he shrugged. "Cheaper than one?" The waitress dropped off our drinks. I watched the coffee swirl, black and endless. Jake's phone buzzed. He checked it, frowned. "Lily asked about you again." I looked up. "Lily?" "Yeah, she said you've been ignoring her emails." I don't know what to say." "Say you're breathing." "That's a start." I nodded, pretending I'd do it. But when I got home later, the silence swallowed me again. The lights felt too bright, the air too still. My inbox glowed on my laptop screen. 40 unread messages from work, a few from friends, and one from her. Emily Ross, just checking in. My hand trembled as I clicked it open. "Ryan, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for how things ended. I never meant to hurt you. I hope someday we can still be friends." Emily, I stared at the screen, heartbeat heavy in my throat. "Friends?" I muttered. "After what you did?" The walls seemed to echo her words. "I need space. I need to find myself." I laughed once, a dry, broken sound. Then my fingers hovered over the keyboard. "You broke something that can't be fixed." I typed it slowly, every letter like glass under my skin. I didn't hit send yet. I stared at the words, wondering if they were enough. Jake's voice echoed in my mind. "Don't drown." But maybe I needed to. Maybe drowning was the only way to wash her out of me. I pressed send. The whoosh of the email leaving felt final. The silence afterward felt worse. I closed the laptop, leaned back on the couch, and whispered to the empty room, "You wanted space." "Emily, congratulations. There's nothing left between us now but it." The clock ticked on. The coffee went cold, and I realized she hadn't just left my life. She'd hollowed it out. The music thumped through the walls like a heartbeat I didn't want to feel. Jake had dragged me to the party, saying I needed to rejoin civilization. I'd agreed only because I was tired of staring at the same 4 walls. As soon as I stepped inside, I regretted it. Voices, laughter, flashes of light, too much noise. Then I saw her, Emily, and him. "Aaron." Jake muttered under his breath. "We can leave." "No," I said, not running this time. Aaron noticed me first. He smirked, whispering something to the guy next to him. Emily looked away. My stomach twisted. I tried to ignore them, talking to some coworkers near the bar. But then Aaron's voice cut through the music. "Hey, everyone! You know who's here?" He shouted. "Emily's famous ex." The room quieted, laughter bubbling under the surface. "Ryan," he said, lifting his drink. "The guy who couldn't satisfy her enough to keep her around." My chest went cold. People laughed, nervous, uncertain. Emily grabbed his arm, whispering something, but he brushed her off. Jake moved instantly. "Say that again," he growled, stepping forward. I stopped him. "Don't. He's not worth it." Aaron grinned wider. "Oh, come on, man. Just having fun." "Your definition of fun is pathetic," I said. He chuckled. "Touchy. Guess the truth hurts." Something in me snapped. Not loud, not violent. Just clear. I felt the anger burn clean through the heartbreak. I leaned closer, voice low. "Enjoy it, Aaron. Every flame dies out eventually." "You'll choke on the ashes you light tonight." He blinked, confused. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing you'd understand," I said, turning away. Jake followed me out without a word. The cold air outside hit my skin like a slap. "You should have let me punch him," he said. I laughed, short and bitter. "That would have made him win." "You call that winning?" "No, but I call this remembering. I'm done being the guy who breaks quietly." Jake nodded slowly. "What are you gonna do?" "Rebuild," I said. "Better, stronger, without them." He smiled faintly. "There's the Ryan I know." The next morning I woke up sore, not from drinking, but from holding in everything I wanted to scream. I looked at my reflection. Tired eyes, messy hair, hollow stare. "You look like hell," I told myself. Good. I needed to see what I'd become before I could change it. I laced up my shoes and went for a run. My lungs burned, but every step felt like defiance. The anger turned into motion, the pain into rhythm. At the gym, Jake spotted me on the treadmill. "You actually showed up." "I said I would," I said, panting. He grinned. "Guess Heartbreak finally hit your fitness goals." I smirked. "Guess so." By the third day, my body screamed, but I didn't stop. Every rep, every lift, every drop of sweat whispered the same truth. I'm still here. One afternoon at the cafe near my office, I ran into Lily. She waved shyly, her soft smile breaking through my exhaustion. "I heard about the party," she said. I groaned. "News travels fast. People talk," she said gently. "You okay?" "I'm getting there," she nodded. "You will. Just don't waste energy proving anything to them." "I'm not doing it for them anymore," I said. "It's for me." Her eyes warmed. "Good, because success is the best revenge." I laughed quietly. "That sounds like something you'd put on a mug." "Maybe," she said, smiling. "But it's still true." Something about her calm steadiness anchored me. Lily never pitied me. She just believed I could be more than the hurt. When she left, I opened my laptop and stared at my design portfolio. Dusty files. Unfinished work. I'd abandoned everything the moment Emily did. "Not anymore," I whispered. I started editing, designing, rebuilding. Hours slipped by. When I finally leaned back, the screen glowed with something that looked like purpose. 2 weeks later, I got a call. "Ryan? It's Nina." I frowned. "Nina? Aaron's sister." "Oh," my guard went up instantly. "What do you need?" I saw what happened that night. I just wanted to say, "I'm sorry for him." I hesitated. "You don't owe me that. Maybe not. But he's always been reckless. You didn't deserve that." "Thanks," I said quietly. She paused. "If it helps, Emily's not as happy as she looks online." I sighed. "I don't need to know." "Right," she said softly. "Well, if you ever need a contact for event clients, I know a few people who could use a designer like you." I blinked. "You'd help me? After all that?" "Some of us still have decency," she said with a smile in her voice. "Text me your portfolio." When the call ended, I sat there stunned. The world had shifted again, but this time in my favor. By the end of the month, I'd landed 2 new clients through Nina's referrals. My days filled with sketches, deadlines, and late-night coffee. My muscles grew firmer, my focus sharper. Jake noticed first. "You're glowing, man. Not love, but something better. Peace?" "I guessed. Power," he said. "You found your fight," I smiled. "No, Jake, I found myself." He clinked his bottle against mine. "To revenge?" I shook my head. To rebirth, he grinned. Same thing sometimes. That night I sat by my window, the city humming below. My phone buzzed. A new message request. Emily, hope you're doing okay. Heard you're doing well. I stared at it for a long moment, then hit block. No anger, no ache, just silence. For the first time, silence felt like victory. When I got the email, I thought it was spam. Congratulations, Mr. Carter. Your portfolio has been shortlisted for a senior design role at Visenia Marketing Group. Visenia. The name hit like déjà vu. It was their company, Emily and Aaron's. For a full minute, I just stared at the screen. Then I laughed. It wasn't bitter this time, just disbelief wrapped in irony. Jake looked up from his burger. What's funny? You remember Emily's company? He frowned. Yeah, why? They just offered me an interview. He froze. You're kidding. I wish. But no, Jake whistled. That's poetic justice. Or cosmic setup, I muttered. So what? You gonna take it? Hell yes, I said. I'm not running from ghosts anymore. The interview felt like walking into my past wearing new armor. I expected to feel small again, but instead I felt steady, like every scar had finally turned into strength. The recruiter smiled as she scrolled through my portfolio. Your design style, clean, emotional, confident. It's rare. Thank you, I said, my voice even. We'll be in touch soon, she said. I walked out lighter. By the end of the week, I got the call. Ryan Carter, the voice said. Welcome aboard. 3 months later, my work was everywhere. Online campaigns, brand visuals, even a feature in creative insight. People started calling me the rising name in design. Jake sent me a screenshot of an article. From Heartbreak to headline, he texted. Proud of you, man, I smiled. Guess pain has its perks. He replied, don't get cocky. Karma's still balancing the books. Then came the industry event. A sleek ballroom full of chatter, champagne, and polished egos. I was there representing my new firm, shaking hands, smiling for photos. That's when I saw her, Emily. She stood across the room, glass in hand, her hair a little shorter, her confidence a little dimmer. Aaron was beside her, laughing too loud, his arm loosely around her waist. For a second, my pulse stuttered. Then I exhaled. Lily, standing next to me, whispered, Is that... Yeah, I said softly. You okay? I will be, Emily noticed me. Her eyes widened, then softened with something like disbelief. She said something to Aaron, but he brushed her off. Then she walked toward me. Ryan, she said, voice almost a whisper. You look... Different, I smiled faintly. I am, she hesitated. I saw your article. You're doing amazing. I'm just getting started, I said. Her smile faltered. I'm happy for you, really. I tilted my head. Are you? She looked down. I didn't think you'd bounce back like this. Neither did I admitted. But pain teaches fast. Aaron appeared beside her, his grin sharp. Well, look who made it out of Heartbreak camp. Guess the program works, I said dryly. He chuckled. Nice suits, big smiles. Must be nice pretending. Pretending? I repeated. No, Aaron, this is what moving on looks like. You should try it, his jaw tensed. You think you're better than me now? No, I said calmly. I just stopped being less. Emily touched his arm. Aaron, stop, he ignored her. You think your little viral designs make you something? They made me everything you said I'd never be, I said, smiling. That's enough. He scoffed and walked away, muttering something under his breath. Emily stayed for a moment longer. He's changed, she said quietly. So have I said. The difference is I wanted to. Her eyes glimmered with regret. I never meant to hurt you that way. I know, I said. You just didn't care enough not to. Her lips trembled. You hate me? No, I said. I don't feel anything anymore. She blinked. Like that was worse than anger. I turned away before she could say more. Later that night, I stood near the balcony, the city lights painting reflections across the glass. Nina appeared beside me holding 2 glasses of champagne. Figured you'd need one, she said. I took it, chuckling. You have impeccable timing. I saw Aaron's little performance, she said. He doesn't like not being the center of attention. He never did, I said. She sighed. He's unraveling. He drinks more, picks fights. Emily's trying to hold things together, but... But? He's not done playing games, she said. Be careful, I raised an eyebrow. What kind of games? The kind that mix jealousy with desperation, she said. If he feels threatened, he gets reckless. I'm not scared of him, I said. I know. But just don't let him drag you back into his mess. I nodded. Thanks, Nina, she smiled faintly. You've come a long way, Ryan. Don't let his shadow dim your light. I won't, I said. Not again. We clinked glasses, the sound sharp and clean. When I got home, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. You think you've won? This isn't over, Aaron. I stared at the screen for a long moment, then hit delete. No reply. No reaction. The old me would have raged, typed paragraphs, begged for justice. The new me just smiled and closed the phone. The next morning, Lily called.
You okay?
Yeah, I said. Actually, better than okay. You saw them again, didn't you? Yeah, and? I saw two people stuck where I used to be, I said quietly. That's not my world anymore, she laughed softly. You sound peaceful. Maybe I finally am. That evening, I opened my laptop, scrolling through new project offers. Each design felt like a step forward, a quiet rebellion against the man I used to be. Outside, rain began to fall, gentle, rhythmic, cleansing. I whispered to the empty room, let it pour. I'm not afraid to start over. The city glowed beyond the window, and somewhere between the thunder and the heartbeat of progress, I realized karma wasn't revenge. It was reflection, and mine was just getting started. Did you see the news? Jake's voice came through the phone before I even said hello. What news? I asked, half distracted, sketching a new campaign draft. About Aaron. Dude, it's all over LinkedIn. My pencil froze. What happened? He's being accused of plagiarism. Someone leaked a comparison between his latest project and what? Your old pitch from 2 years ago. The one he laughed at. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the ceiling. You've got to be kidding me. I wish I was. A bitter laugh slipped out. Guess karma finally clocked in, Jake snorted. Poetic, huh? You don't even have to lift a finger. I don't plan to, I said. I've done enough fighting for one lifetime. By noon, the office buzzed with whispers. Even people from other firms were talking about it. Screenshots, threads, speculation. Lily knocked on my desk. You've seen this, right? Yeah. You okay? Better than okay, she smiled faintly. So you're really not going to say anything? No need. The truth doesn't need a microphone, she nodded slowly. You're different now. I had to be, I said. Later that evening, I stopped by a networking mixer. I didn't plan to stay long, just shake hands, make connections. But then I saw her, Emily. She looked drained. Eyes tired, smile cracked at the edges. When she spotted me, her face faltered between guilt and relief. Ryan, she said softly. I nodded. Emily, she hesitated. You heard about Aaron, I'm guessing. Hard to miss. Her shoulders sank. He swore it was a coincidence. Said someone framed him. Do you believe that? I asked. I want to, she whispered. But I don't know anymore. For a moment, I almost pitied her. Almost. People always show who they are, I said. Sometimes it just takes a while. She bit her lip. I never thought it'd be like this. You thought betrayal only hurt other people, I said quietly. Her eyes glistened. Do you hate me, Ryan? I looked at her for a long time before replying. No, I just finally understand you. She opened her mouth to say something, but a familiar voice cut in. Still chasing sympathy, Em? Aaron, he looked agitated, his perfect composure cracked. His tie was loose, his tone sharp. Emily turned toward him. Aaron, stop, he scoffed. You think talking to him makes you look better? I'm not playing games, she snapped. Sure you're not, he muttered. You never could resist attention, I exhaled slowly. You're unraveling, man, he shot me a glare. Don't act smug. You've been waiting for this. Waiting? No, I said. But watching karma work, it's educational, he sneered. You think you're innocent? You're just lucky. Maybe, I said. But luck's just preparation meeting your downfall. Emily's voice broke. Aaron, please, can we not do this here? He smirked. Why not? Everyone already knows I took a step back. Enjoy the spotlight. You always did. Then I walked away, leaving their chaos behind. That night, as I sat at home scrolling through headlines, an email notification appeared. From Nina Blake. Subject, you should see this. I hesitated before opening it. Inside were screenshots, messages between Aaron and someone named Tara Klein. Can't stop thinking about you. Don't tell Emily, last night was perfect. You're the only one who understands me. My hands clenched around the mouse. I whispered, he did it again. Nina's message followed. I thought you should know before this explodes. She deserves to see who he really is. I stared at the words for a long time. My mind flashed back, Emily's trembling voice, her broken look earlier. The irony was suffocating. Jake would have said, send it to her. Let her feel what you felt. But I didn't move. Instead, I shut my eyes and took a breath. When I opened them, I replied, thanks, Nina. But I'm staying out of it. Let karma finish what it started, she texted back within seconds. That's strength, Ryan, I smiled faintly. Or exhaustion, I murmured. 2 days later, another call came. Jake again. Bro, Emily and Aaron are officially done. She found out about the other woman. I closed my eyes. How? No idea. Maybe someone leaked it. Maybe he slipped. Doesn't matter. It's over. I didn't say anything. You okay? Jake asked. I thought it'd feel good, I said. But it doesn't. He paused. What does it feel like? Like watching a movie I've already seen, I said softly. I know every scene, every tear, every mistake. And you don't want to be in it anymore, he said. Exactly. Later, I met Nina for coffee. She slid into the seat across from me, looking relieved. She left him, she said. I heard. She's broken, Nina added quietly. Almost like you were, I nodded. It comes full circle. She studied me. You really didn't send her those messages? No, what would that fix? Her pain won't heal mine, she smiled faintly. You've grown more than anyone I know. I just got tired of bleeding for people who like the sight of red, I said. She let out a soft laugh. That's poetic. It's experience, I said. As I left the cafe, rain started falling, soft, steady. I stopped under the awning, watching drops gather on my sleeve. Emily once said rain made her feel clean, like the world was forgiving itself. Now it just felt quiet, honest. My phone buzzed. One message from an unknown number. You were right. No name. But I didn't need one. I typed nothing back. There was nothing left to say. Back home, I opened my laptop and returned to my design draft. The new logo read, Rise Studio, a symbol of beginning again. Jake had called it revenge. Lily had called it growth. But standing there, hearing the rain tap against my window, I finally understood. It wasn't revenge. It was release. The rain hit the window like fingers tapping for attention. I was sketching new logo drafts when a knock broke through the quiet. 3 sharp knocks, hesitant but familiar. I froze. When I opened the door, Emily stood there, mascara streaked. Down her cheeks, rain dripping from her hair, eyes swollen and red. Ryan, please, she whispered. I didn't say anything. The storm outside was nothing compared to the one behind my ribs. Can I come in? Her voice cracked. I stepped aside silently. She walked in, clutching her coat like armor. I could still smell that floral perfume, the same one that used to cling to my pillow. She turned to face me. He cheated on me, she said, with someone from work. I caught them last week. I leaned against the counter. I heard, I murmured. Her eyes widened. You knew? Nina told me. Of course she did, she muttered bitterly. Then softer. I should have believed you back then, about who he really was. I stayed silent. The apology hung in the air, heavy and late. I was so stupid, Ryan, she continued, tears spilling freely now. I thought he loved me. I thought what we had was real. I sighed quietly. You thought what you wanted was real. She shook her head, stepping closer. No, I was lost. After we broke up, I didn't know what I was doing. Aaron made me feel wanted. He said things that filled the silence you left behind. The silence I left? I asked, my voice low. Emily, you ended us. I know, she whispered. I know I did. And I regret it every single day. Her hands trembled as she wiped her tears. You were right, Ryan, about everything. I didn't want to admit it. I looked at her, this woman who once shattered me into 100 quiet pieces. The same woman now breaking in front of me. But my chest didn't ache the way it used to. The pain had calcified into something steadier. She took a shaky breath. Can we just talk? Maybe go back to what we were? I can fix this. I can make it right. Go back? I repeated. Back to when I begged for answers while you were posting pictures with him? Or when you said it just happened? Her lips quivered. I was scared. I didn't know how to face you. You were always so certain, and I wasn't. Certainty isn't a crime, I said quietly. Loyalty isn't either. She sobbed softly, taking another step forward. Ryan, I miss you. You were the only one who ever saw me. Really saw me. I looked away. Then why did you look right past me when I needed you? She swallowed hard. Because I was selfish. Because I thought there was something better. But there wasn't. There never was. Her words hit me, not like knives, but like echoes. Familiar pain, dulled by time. I've replayed everything, she said. Every text, every fight, every moment. I keep thinking, if I just stayed, maybe we'd still be happy. Maybe, I said, or maybe we'd still be breaking each other slowly. She blinked. You really think it's over? It's been over, I said. I just hadn't accepted it until now. She let out a small, hopeless laugh. You sound different, stronger. I am, I said simply. She stared at me as if seeing someone new. You changed. No, I said. I just stopped needing your approval to breathe. Her tears came harder. Ryan, please, I can't do this alone. You were fine without me before, I said, though my voice softened. You'll survive this too. She shook her head desperately. I don't want to survive. I want to start over. With you. I closed my eyes for a second. The part of me that once craved her voice, her warmth, her laughter, it stirred weakly. But it didn't own me anymore. I found myself too, Emily, I said quietly. But not in you. She froze. What does that mean? It means I learned that love isn't supposed to destroy you. It's not supposed to make you beg for respect. She covered her mouth, sobbing into her palms. I deserve this, don't I? I didn't answer. She looked up again, eyes red. Say something, yell at me. Hate me if you have to, but don't just stand there. I don't hate you, I said. Hating you would mean I still care that much. Her body shook. Then what do you feel? I thought for a long second. Relief, I said. Because this time when you leave, I'll still be whole. She let out a broken sound, half sob, half laugh. You really mean that? I nodded slowly. Goodbye, Emily. Her lower lip trembled. Please don't do this. I already did, I said gently, walking to the door. She reached out as if to stop me, but her hand fell back to her side. I opened the door. The rain poured harder, drumming against the concrete like applause for the end of a play. She stepped into the doorway, drenched and defeated. Ryan, if you ever need me... I won't, I said softly. Her tears mixed with the rain. She nodded, understanding at last. Then she turned and walked down the hall, her sobs echoing behind her. I stood there for a moment, watching her fade into the gray. Then I closed the door. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was clean. Peaceful. I leaned against the wood and breathed, really breathed, for the first time in a long while. Jake's voice flashed in my mind. One day, she'll knock, and you'll finally realize you don't need to open the door. He'd been right. The rain outside eased to a gentle drizzle. I walked back to my desk, sat down, and opened a new project file. The cursor blinked on the blank screen, waiting. For once, I wasn't thinking about her name, her voice, her ghost. I was thinking about what came next. The city glowed beneath me like 1,000 small chances. I leaned on the balcony railing, the night air cool against my face, the hum of traffic blending with my thoughts. 1 year. It felt both impossibly long and quietly short. "Ryan," Lily called from inside, "you're going to freeze out there." I smiled faintly. "Just 5 more minutes." She stepped out anyway, wrapping her cardigan tighter. "You always say that." "I know." I looked at her and then back at the skyline. "It's just, this view makes everything feel worth it." She leaned beside me. "You mean the sleepless nights, the 12-hour workdays, and you refusing to eat lunch unless I remind you?" I chuckled. "Exactly those," Lily grinned. "You've changed, you know. Not just professionally," I tilted my head. "Changed how?" "You stopped looking for closure from someone else," she said softly. "You built it yourself." Her words lingered, sinking deep. "I used to think closure came from apologies," I said. "Now I know it comes from peace." Lily nudged my arm. "And from running one of the most successful design firms in the city." I laughed quietly. "That helps too." From inside I heard Ethan's voice. "You two planning to stay out there all night?" "Investors' dinner's in 10 minutes. Coming," Lily called back, then looked at me. "You ready?" "As I'll ever be," I said, straightening. Ethan Gray had become more than a business partner. He was the brother I never knew I needed. Sharp-minded, brutally honest, and annoyingly optimistic. When we met at a design expo 6 months ago, he'd said, "You've got the vision, Ryan. Let me build the stage." He wasn't wrong. As we walked back inside, Ethan clapped me on the shoulder. "You good, man? You look like you're about to give a TED Talk instead of meeting investors." "I'm fine," I said. "Just reflective," Lily smirked. Translation, he's thinking too much again. Ethan grinned. "Ah, the philosopher phase. Happens right before big success." I shook my head, smiling. "You two are unbearable." We sat around the glass table, the city lights spilling across our paperwork. Ethan went over figures, but my mind drifted. Back to the version of me that once stared at a phone, waiting for a text that would never come. "Ryan," Ethan said, snapping me out of it. "You good?" "Yeah," I said quickly. "Just thinking how far we've come." Lily smiled knowingly. "Far enough that your old pain doesn't fit in the new version of your life." I looked at her. Exactly, the dinner wrapped up smoothly. Investors loved the new campaign, one built on the theme of rebirth. When everyone left, Ethan turned to me. "Man, you killed it tonight." "Thanks," I said. He raised an eyebrow. "You should smile more." "You've earned it." "I'm smiling on the inside," I replied dryly. He laughed. "Fair enough. Don't stay up too late." When they left, I returned to the balcony, alone again. The city was quieter now. My reflection looked back at me through the glass door, older, steadier, content. I pulled out my phone. A notification blinked. 1 year ago today, memories. Against my better judgment, I tapped it. Photos. Emily and me at the old cafe. Emily and me at the lake. Emily smiling like she meant forever. I stared for a moment, then exhaled. "Hey," Lily said softly behind me. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Just deleting ghosts." She watched me press remove from memories. "Does it hurt?" she asked. "No," I said truthfully. "It feels necessary." We stood there in silence, the sound of distant thunder rolling far beyond the skyline. Lily finally said, "I used to think pain fades." "But it doesn't, does it? It just changes shape," I nodded. "It becomes part of you. Like a scar you don't notice until someone asks about it." "And you?" she asked gently. "Do you ever think about her?" "Sometimes," I admitted. "Not with anger anymore. Not even sadness, just pity." Lily looked at me curious. "Pity?" "Yeah," I said. "Because she's still searching for something to fill her emptiness." "I was lucky enough to lose everything and find myself," she smiled faintly. "That's poetic. Maybe," I said. "Or maybe it's just the truth." The wind brushed through her hair, and for a second I thought of all the times I'd begged the universe to take the pain away. Now I was grateful it hadn't, because it forced me to grow. Remember the night she showed up here? Lily asked suddenly. I nodded. Yeah, rain, mascara, tears. The full drama package. And you didn't cave, she said proudly. I smirked. That was the moment I realized I wasn't in love with her anymore. I was in love with who I thought she could be. Lily exhaled softly. You've come a long way. Yeah, I said. Maybe losing her was how I found me. She looked at me, eyes soft. You really believe that? I turned back to the city lights. I know it. We stood there in silence, the hum of the city steady beneath us. Finally, Lily said, Ethan's right, you know. You should smile more, I chuckled. You both need new material. She laughed and went inside. I stayed, letting the night settle around me like a calm wave. I thought about everything, every tear, every sleepless night, every unanswered question that had once consumed me. And I realized something simple yet powerful. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure from anyone but myself. I whispered into the quiet. Thank you for breaking me, Emily. You taught me how to rebuild. The words didn't hurt. They freed me. Inside, my phone buzzed, Ethan again. Big client tomorrow. Don't oversleep, boss. I grinned and typed back, wouldn't dream of it. The city stretched endlessly ahead, full of light and possibility. I felt it deep in my bones. I wasn't defined by what I'd lost, but by what I'd chosen to become. I raised my glass toward the skyline, the reflection of the stars shimmering in the wine. To finding myself, I murmured, without you. The wind answered softly, carrying my words into the night.